Hi everyone, my name is Karis. Welcome to my corner of the internet where I talk about books and other things that I enjoy. Today I thought I would do a book haul because I feel like I haven't done one for ages and I've accumulated quite a few things recently. These are going to be basically the stuff I got like for Christmas and before and a few afterwards. I'm not going to call it a Christmas book haul because it feels way too late for that, but a lot of these were Christmas things. I've got 11 things in the pile next to me, so I'll just get into them. So the first few books that I have, I actually picked up just after Christmas when Waterstones were doing the half price sale on hardbacks, and of course I had to go in and get a few things. I didn't go too wild actually, I got 3 things. I also had the £10 voucher from when you collect the stamps as well, so I think I only paid about £12 or £13 for 3 hardbacks in total, which I just couldn't say no to. So the first of those hardbacks that I got was The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. This has been on my radar for ages and I haven't picked it up because I thought, oh, maybe I'll just wait until the paperback comes out, but then with the deal I just couldn't say no. I haven't read an Elif Shafak book yet, but I have wanted to for so long. I have The Bastard of Istanbul on my shelf, and I have had a couple of others like on my radar but not bought them yet. There's just something about her that I think I'm really gonna like. A lot of her stories really interest me. I kind of almost feel like I'm putting off reading one because I think that I will like it and then I'll just want to read her entire back catalogue, which is stupid because why would I put off something that I think I'm going to enjoy. But anyway, this book is about Cyprus and I believe there are 2 characters, one from the Greek side of the island and one from the Turkish side, and they meet at this tavern and I believe they enter into a relationship, and then this story follows their daughter several years later going back to the island where her parents were born and maybe finding out about their past and her history. I think I've always been really interested in reading books that are set and take place all around the world, and I don't think I've ever read a book set in Cyprus before. I have been to Cyprus, but when I was very young, like 4 or 5, so I don't remember anything about it. When I was at my previous job as an editor, I did edit a guidebook to North Cyprus, so I do know a little bit about like that part of the island, but other than that I don't really know very much. So I'm looking forward to seeing the depiction in this and seeing how the sort of separation between the 2 characters who are the parents of this girl, like how that tension works in it and how that sort of plays into her identity and her history. The next book that I bought in the half price sale is The 5 Wounds by Kirsten Valdez Quade. This is another thing that's been on my radar for ages. I remember being drawn to this in Waterstones a while ago because of the cover and then reading the blurb and being like, yeah, that's something that I think I would really enjoy. Again, it was another one that I thought I might wait until it was out in paperback, but then just couldn't resist in the deal. For this one I will just read the inside because I can't actually remember really the ins and outs of the blurb because it's been quite a while. So it says, it's Holy Week in the town of Las Penas, New Mexico. An unemployed 33-year-old Amadeo Padilla is to play Jesus in the Good Friday procession. He is preparing feverishly for this role when his 15-year-old daughter Angel shows up pregnant on his doorstep. The 5 Wounds spans the baby's first year as 5 generations of the Padilla family converge. Amadeo's mother, Yolanda, reeling from a recent discovery, Angel's mother, whom Angel isn't speaking to, and Tio Tive, keeper of the family's history. Each brings expectations that Amadeo, who often solves his problems with a beer in hand, doesn't think he can live up to. Yeah, from rereading that I can definitely remember why I decided that I wanted to pick this one up. I'm always drawn to stories that have that sort of intergenerational big family aspect, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that in this book, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the family's culture plays into the story as well. And the final hardback that I got in the deal is Cecily by Annie Garthwaite. This is another one where the cover has definitely been calling me in for a really long time, and I think this one's a little bit out of my comfort zone because it's historical and I don't really know that much about the history that it centers around. But I thought, why not take the opportunity to give this book a go and hopefully learn something as well. So again, I will just read the blurb for this one. It says, rebellion, the world is a spark. They can start a fire with it or smother it in their fingertips. She chooses to start a fire. You were born high but marry a traitor's son. You bear him 12 children, carry his cause and bury his past. You play the game against enemies who wish you ashes. Slowly you rise. You are Cecily. But when the king who governs you proves unfit, what then? Loyalty or treason, death may follow both. The board is set. Time to Make Your First Move. Told through the eyes of its greatest unknown protagonist, this astonishing debut plunges you into the closed bedchambers and bloody battlefields of the first days of the War of the Roses, a war as women fight it. So yeah, as I said, I don't really know very much about the War of the Roses, so maybe I will do a little bit of research before going into this, but I'm excited to learn something. If you have read this, definitely let me know how much you think I should know about the history before going into it, or if I can just enjoy it, not really knowing very much. So the next lot of books are things that I got for Christmas, so I'm kind of going backwards in when I got things. But first of all, I did get a few books as gifts from so many lovely friends, which I was so grateful for. So the first one that I have here is Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, and this came from Shah from Thoroughly Enjoyed Books. Myself and some of my friends did a little booktube Secret Santa, and Shah was the person who had me, and she sent me this and a little box of sweets as well, which have long been eaten, so I don't have them to show. But Detransition Baby is a book that I have heard so much about. There was a lot of hype about it last year and I never jumped onto it at the time, just because I think it came out around the time when my reading sort of took a bit of a back seat. But I'm really excited to have this now and finally be able to give it a go. So this is described as a uniquely trans take on love, motherhood and those exes who you just can't quit. And it says, Reese nearly had it all, a loving relationship with Amy, an apartment in New York, a job she didn't hate. She'd scraped together a life previous generations of trans women could only dream of. The only thing missing was the child. Then everything fell apart, and 3 years on, Reese is still in self-destruct mode, avoiding her loneliness by sleeping with married men. When an ex calls to ask if she wants to be a mother, Reese finds herself intrigued. After being attacked in the street, Amy detransitioned to become Ames, changing jobs and, thinking he was infertile, started an affair with his boss Katrina. Now Katrina's pregnant. Could the three of them form an unconventional family and raise a baby together? As I said, I do really tend to enjoy like family-based stories, and as the blurb of this says, this seems like a really unique take. I've also heard loads of people describe this as like a really important story. Detransition is something that I've never read about before, so I'm really looking forward to picking this up. The next thing that I got for Christmas was also from a Secret Santa group, which was set up by Victoria from what Victoria read. There were a few of us in a little Twitter group and Victoria assigned us all a person to buy for, and the book that came for me was Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendes. I actually don't know who my Secret Santa was from that group because I don't think they ever revealed themselves. So if whoever it was is watching, thank you for sending me this, and thank you to Shah as well for Detransition Baby. I have obviously said that in real life, but I don't think I've said it in the video yet. So thank you, Shah, and thank you to whoever got me this. I was really grateful to receive it. This is one that's been on my wish list for quite a while, and I think I put it on there because it's set in the Midlands, which is where I'm from, and oh yeah, it's actually set in the Black Country, which is the part of the Midlands specifically that I'm from, and I don't think I've ever read a book set in that area before. The Black Country is like an area that has its name because of the Industrial Revolution, which is not to be confused with Birmingham. A lot of people from the Black Country do not like it when people say they're from Birmingham, which is funny because I always use Birmingham as like a point of reference for where I'm from, and when my mom hears me say that, she's always like, no, you're not from Birmingham. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the area. But yeah, this is set in the Black Country in 1950s, and it says ex-boxer Norman Alonso is a determined and humble Jamaican who has moved to Britain with his wife to secure a brighter future for them and their children. At the turn of the millennium, Jesse seeks a fresh start in London, escaping from a broken, immediate family, a repressive religious community and the desolate, disempowered Black Country, but finds himself at a loss for a new centre of gravity and turns to sex work to create new notions of love, fatherhood and spirituality. Yeah, I just thought, along with it being set somewhere where I recognise, again, it's another story of an experience that I haven't really learnt about or read anything about before, and I really want to change that. Next I got The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and this was a gift from Rhiannon from Welsh Reader, and I was so grateful to receive this. This was waiting for me at my flat when I got back from my parents, so it was a little after Christmas treat. And it also came with some chocolate, which has also been eaten a long time ago. This book and its sequel have been so popular over the past year. I don't actually know when this one came out, but ever since it's come out, it's been like at the top of all the charts, and I want to see what the hype is about. I love a good mystery. I don't read them that often considering I enjoy them so much, but anything with like a detective as opposed to a thriller is definitely where my interests lie in that sort of thing. And this is about a group of unlikely detectives, so I think I'm going to have a really good time following them, following this case, and seeing what all the hype is about. So thank you so much again, Rhiannon, for this one. I can't wait to get round to it. On a similar theme, Emily from Emily Kathleen Reads also sent me The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I have heard so many good things about this one as well, so much hype. And this I think is told in like a lot of like mixed media messages. I don't know what other sorts of things, but I love books with like mixed format, so when I heard that that was like how this was told, it just instantly stood out to me as something that I wanted to pick up. And then obviously since then I've heard loads of people saying it's really good, so I can't wait to get around to this one either. Although it's quite long, I think, because it does have that like mixed format, so yeah, there's like text messages and stuff. I think it will fly by pretty quickly, just dropping the gift notes out of it. But yeah, thank you so much, Emily, for this one. I also got a couple of gifts from my parents for Christmas. One of them was the beautiful exclusive edition of The Song of Achilles. That is at home at my parents' house, because I haven't figured out a nice place in this flat to put like all of my special editions of books, so I can't show that, but I'm sure everyone has probably seen it already. It's like the blue one with like the gold foiling. It's so pretty and I'm so glad to own it. But on a similar theme, they did get me a couple of other Greek myth inspired books, those being The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker and also The Women of Troy, also by Pat Barker. I'm really looking forward to getting around to these, but I feel like I need to do a bit more research into like Greek mythology and all that sort of stuff before I get into them, because I loved The Song of Achilles. It was one of my favourite books of last year, but I just don't have any knowledge of like Greek history, Greek myths. I feel like my reading experience would have been even better if I did know a little bit more. I'm not sure where the right balance is, because I feel like if I was an expert, then I might like start picking holes in it, or I would know what was going to happen to the characters. So again, I guess I would appreciate if anyone has read these to let me know if they think me with absolutely no knowledge, and I mean that like none, if I should go into these now or if I should like learn a bit more. But I am excited about these because they seem to both feature and focus around female characters. Briseis is one of the characters in this one, and I loved her characterization in The Song of Achilles. She was definitely like my favourite side character in that, and obviously there's a lot of overlap with the characters in that and with this, so I'm looking forward to seeing the different interpretations and the different depictions of the different characters. Okay, Briseis is in this one as well. I don't really know, I don't even know which one to read first, so I definitely do need to do some more research into these, but I'm very excited to have them. Just before Christmas I did buy myself Circe by Madeline Miller. After having loved The Song of Achilles, I really want to get around to her other book, and also I'll be definitely purchasing her latest one when that one comes out. But I saw this in a charity shop in perfect condition, so I had to pick it up. I know nothing about Circe, absolutely nothing. So I need to decide whether to do some more research into it or not. Again, please definitely let me know. But I'm again really excited to see a female character at the centre of this story. And then the final book I have to talk about, I also bought for myself. Me and my housemate went on a little trip to Oxford just before Christmas in December. So I definitely have gone backwards in the way that I've talked about these books. And we went into Blackwell's, and between us did the 3 for 2 deal. So the one book that I got out of that was One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I never see this author's books on sale in the UK, so when I did, I was like, I'm gonna pick this one up. I haven't read Red, White and Royal Blue. I've said many times, and a lot of people know, that I'm not a big romance reader, but I am intrigued by this one and seeing how the relationship plays out. I know that this is set in New York, and I know it's about a sapphic relationship, and I think like one of them is from the past or something. That's all I really know. I feel like I'm going to go into it with very little knowledge and just see how the story plays out. So those are the 11 books that I'm going to talk about today, all the things that I bought or received as gifts over the past couple of months. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Please let me know in the comments, or just let me know which one I should pick up first. Other than that though, that is it for today's video. Hopefully I'll be back soon with another one. I know I've been very sporadic again, but yeah, I hope you will have a good day and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye.